Why, hello there, my name's Ark and I'm a penguin, and... Yeah, no, I don't need friends, I have Poochie. Collecting and playing video games really do fill that friend-shaped hole in my heart. There's nothing quite like buying a game that you've always wanted for the first time, playing it, showing it to others, adding it to your collection. It's truly a magical experience. However, in a few years, I'm more than likely going to have all the games I really want right now. I'll also probably forget what it was like to get that game for the very first time and play it. So I thought to myself, why not annually catalog my video game collection and share with you guys what games I'm currently working for, so that way I can laugh at myself in a few years for not owning Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Olympic Games. So take it away, Unscripted Dallas. Now. Whoa, thank you, past Dallas. It's almost like that was planned out. So I guess I might as well just start off with like probably the most simple thing and just show off all the consoles, and then we'll actually get into the games. So let's start off with just simple NES. By the way, I know there's gonna be somebody that's gonna be like, oh, you're just showing off all the money you have. Yeah, I own this rectangle, so I'm better than you. This guy, I really enjoy this guy. I don't know what it is, but I really like collecting NES games. I don't know what it is. Also, but I keep all the wires that I need for like the consoles that I don't keep hooked up, like this and this guy, which we'll get into in a second. But I keep all of them inside of a plastic bag that I just prop on top of the console. I know it doesn't look the best, but it's pretty functional. But this guy is pretty good. I just really like collecting for it. I mean, overall, my NES probably needs to be cleaned out because it's like it doesn't really work the best, but I mean, I still really like it. I think it has a great library. Next up, we have a console that is, in my eyes, like pretty much superior to the NES in every way. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System. For some reason on my camera, the purple buttons look like blue. I don't know why. Here, I'll bring it out in the light. There we go. That's way better. So this guy, it has a very good library of games, which of course I will get to in a bit. I am missing a good chunk of the Super Nintendo library. I'm missing a good chunk of the library from a ton of games, but especially the Super Nintendo. I only have like 5 games for it. But this guy, obviously, like this is one of the most beloved things that have ever graced the earth with its presence. For some reason, my Super Nintendo is yellow at the top. I don't know if that's a recurring thing. I don't know how it happened, but it just did. So moving on. This is my Nintendo 64. I love this thing. This thing, I know that a lot of people think that the games have aged poorly and how it's not as good as it used to be, and it's like it's not a good console or whatever, and the third-party support was bad. I love this thing. This thing is great. I mean, it has so many good games. All of the games that I have on the Nintendo 64, I really like. I mean, of course, like there is one that we'll get to in a bit that I'm like kind of mixed on, but I mean, all of them I do really enjoy. Now up here, haha. Now you might be wondering, this GameCube looks a little bit stubby. I don't have the Game Boy player. I know. I call myself a human being, and I don't have a Game Boy player. I'm sorry, I need to get one. I can buy one off of eBay for like 60 bucks. This console, it's extremely generic to say this, and you know what? I'm not sorry. This puppy is my favorite console of all time. I love this thing. I mean, like there is literally, even the licensed games that I have for this thing, I think are at least okay. Like this thing is like freakishly good. Also, it has an amazing controller. It's just, it's great. I don't know why I know a lot of people complain about this, but the memory cards, I actually quite like the memory cards, to be honest. I think they're really good. They're really charming to me. Obviously, they're nowhere near as convenient, because if you get a GameCube without a memory card, then you can't save. But I don't care, to be honest. I just love this thing too much. Now, I do have a Wii out in the living room, but that's a family console, so I'll just skip on that. And I'll go straight to this guy, the Xbox 360. This is one of my favorite consoles of all time as well, just like the GameCube. It is probably my favorite non-Nintendo console. It's got a great library, especially compared to another console that we're going to get to in a second. Its exclusive library is black. Well, by saying that, you already know what it is, but I'm gonna keep it quiet because I want to piss some people off whenever they figure out my opinion on this guy's successor. You're probably wondering, why do I have a gift card here? The reason why is because for some reason my 360, anytime I open it, it just doesn't open. And it's not on because I keep my power off because I don't want to burn down my house or whatever. For some reason, anytime even when this guy's on, if I press this, it won't open. It'll say it's opening on the screen and it'll be like opening, blah, 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 all that. The only way to actually do it is I have to stick this guy in there, hit it, and then whenever I hear a little like a certain like shift, I go bah, and I pop it open. And I know it sounds like it's gonna, because I remember I couldn't open it for a long time because I was afraid I was gonna break it. Don't be afraid. If your Xbox 360 is like this, it won't hurt the system. I probably need to get a new one. Also considering this is the old model, the one that was notorious for like the red ring of death. But this one, thank God, I've had this since I was a child. I used to be a Minecraft YouTuber when I was like, I think 8, and I did Minecraft Let's Plays. This is what I played it on. I love this thing. I'm super nostalgic for it. It's got a great library of games. Awesome. This is one of the greatest video game consoles ever. By the way, that's my duck. This is one of the greatest video game consoles ever. And by far the most underrated. I love this thing. Not only is it like the ultimate all-in-one like Nintendo box, because it's got some virtual, except for the Gamecube. It doesn't have the Gamecube, unfortunately. But it has more legacy content than like the Switch, for example. But this thing, I really like it. It has a lot of great games. It also has a lot of garbage, but I mean, it does have some good games. I think it deserves more credit than it gets. I am willing to point out the flaws. In fact, I'm actually going to make a video going over the Wii U, its flaws, its strengths, all of that. But I really love this thing. It's also probably because I'm biased because I grew up with it as well, just like the 360 and the Wii and the GameCube, all that. But I really like this guy. I hate this thing. This is the only reason I still have this is because I can't afford a PS4. This thing is hot trash. It barely works. It has exclusive games, but guess what? They're all horrible. They're all so bad. I hate them all. Okay, I don't hate them all. Forza's fine. Gears of War is also probably fine, but I don't like Halo 5. Halo 5 was not very good. It has a lot of exclusive games that I'm just not a fan of at all. There's no reason to own this if you already own a PS4. And if you don't have either, like if you own this and not a PS4, then it's fine. It's serviceable, I guess. But if you own neither one of them, there's no reason to get this, because PS4 has so many great... It has Spider-Man, God of War, Detroit, Become Human, Persona 5. Well, that's on PC, but you get what I'm trying to say. This thing is horrible. I hate it. It is out of every console from like major publishers, and I'm talking like Nintendo, Sony, Sega, Microsoft, this is my least favorite one. That's right. This thing beats out the Sega Saturn. I know. It's bad. I know it's like I'm probably being like, I'm biased because I have had many horrible experiences on this thing, but I just hate this thing. I'm sorry, I can't like it. And this is the final like home console one, even though it's technically a hybrid. My Switch, it used to have an awesome Score Bunny design on here, but I took it off because Pokemon is satanic. I'm kidding. Don't click off the video. Don't dislike, for the love of God. I love the Switch. It's so good, but I can't play it in handheld because of the drift. I know, it's the drift, man. It's always the drift, isn't it? It's because my left Joy-Con is just completely out of whack. Like, I will be playing, like, Animal Crossing in handheld for, like, a minute, and then all of a sudden, I just start running in one direction. Not even slowly. I just start straight up running. Like, I'm like, what? And then this one's starting to go out, too, because me, Isaac, and Kai were playing Minecraft together, during a sleepover, and Kai, he got my Joy-Cons, and he just started moving like backwards or whatever, left, because that's where my Joy-Cons drifting. And he also started doing this, because it was drifting, but it wasn't moving. It was like both of these are starting to go out. And like since Joy-Con are like $80, I can't get any new ones. So I'm just gonna have to live with that, or just play on the TV the entire time. But it's not a huge deal. I have patience, I guess. These two guys, I got my Game Boy Color. I like it. It's just, it's pretty much just a souped up Game Boy in my eyes. While I do think it does have great exclusives, like it has Pokemon Crystal, it's got Pokemon Crystal. I personally prefer playing on this, obviously, because it's got color and all that, better stuff like that. But I mean, mine also has like a weird D-pad. Like mine is like kind of getting stiff, so I might have to like, I don't know if you can clean out a Game Boy, but I'll have to try to do that. And then this guy, my uncle sent me this, and it came with the original manual. How freaking cool is that? It didn't come with the original box, but I mean, to be honest, I don't really care. It came with the manual, which is also amazing, but I just care about this. This guy is awesome. I have spent over 20 hours on this thing, and I mean, I know to some people it's like they spend hundreds of hours on the Game Boy, but you know, I still think it's pretty impressive that I spent over 20 hours on this thing, especially having played like modern consoles like the Switch, the DS, 3DS, all that. But I really genuinely like this thing. Only problem is the screen keeps coming off, or it does because it's not glued on there. But I mean, honestly, I mean, who's gonna want to play a Game Boy? Who's gonna want to play a Game Boy like this? Like no one, because I mean, you can't see it. You can't see the light because it doesn't have a backlight. It doesn't have a backlight, so it's really not a big deal, like at all. And then my final piece of console-ness is my original 3DS. This thing is, I specifically remember, me and my mom and my sister, we were going to Cracker Barrel to meet with my grandparents. I was like, we were going through something pretty bad, and I was really upset, and I was like, you know what would make me feel better? I want a 3DS and a copy of Pokemon X. Or no, it was a 2D, my bad, sorry, I'm lying. No, not lying, I was wrong. There's a difference, but people are too stupid to understand that now. I wanted a 2DS and Pokemon X because 3D, at the time, and even now, 3D stuff kind of hurts my eyes, to be honest, because I get motion sick pretty easily. But I wanted a 2DS and a copy of Pokemon X, which we will get to in a bit. I wanted a 2DS so badly, but they were out of stock. But my mom decided, because they were out of stock of 2DS, so she got me this thing for 300 bones, and I was so happy. And she got me Pokemon X as well. I was so happy. I have probably clocked over 2,000 hours in this thing. I love it. And it's like, this is the exact same model too. Like, this is the same one that I got back when I was like, God, I think it was like 10. Like, this thing is, I love this thing. So, I mean, overall, this is probably, despite the fact that GameCube is my favorite console, this console means the most to me. And I'm not talking about the 3DS line, I'm just talking about this console specifically. Like, I'm talking about this specific 3DS. Like, even if it breaks and shatters, I'm not even gonna try to put it back together, I'm just gonna frame it. Like, I don't care. Like, I love this thing so much. So that's it for the consoles. Now, let's actually get into the games.